Only a year after Valorant's launch, a Shameless copy ended up peeking its head through. It was labeled Project M, and it resembled Valorant to an astonishing amount, almost unreal amount. It was quite literally a shameless copy. I mean, it wasn't even released yet, and this was labeled Project M, while Valorant's codename was Project A. They didn't even bother trying. But where is Project M today? Well, let's take a look at its story from start to finish because it has quite a satisfying end. Now, background footage, huge shout out to You're Not Justin. I did borrow his video because he has some amazing edits that go ahead and show the most obvious, including a plain copy of Reyna's eye orb, or UI elements that are obviously copied one-to-one with agents you can probably make out, but we'll get into that. And even the buy menu, not only structured almost identically, but they didn't even bother trying to do their own unique gun. They have a copy paste. Anything that's in Valorant is also in Project M. It is disgusting. Every single gun, Operator, Ares, Odin, the dude, the only thing changed is just some price differences. That's it. The only thing changed in the entire buy menu is a different economy setup. That is all they did. Anyways, you might not be convinced yet, so you can also see the knife animation. You can make the exact same face using the knife animation. And Valorant players had fun looking at how insanely shameless this was. Naturally, the game got a lot of heat, a lot of pressure, and it shut down. But the story doesn't end here. See, the thing is that Project M was in development by a company called NetEase, and they are infamously known as a Chinese company that just copy-pastas multiple games. What you're seeing in the background is an Escape from Tarkov copy, and to be fair, Escape from Tarkov is kind of a niche game, so you might not be able to tell how much of a copy this is. So let's go a little bit more mainstream. 3, 2, 1. I think it's safe to say I don't even need to tell you what this looks like. From the ground up, this is clearly a shameless Fortnite copy. It is actually hard to even hold in my laughter. I was trying to make this a very serious story video to change up the vibe, but then look at this. Look at this. Yeah, this was called Buildtopia. So now you have an idea of the company who was designing Project M. But regardless, like I said, it got quote-unquote taken down. But not quite. Instead, it got re-released as Hyperfront with a lot more changes to try and compete one-to-one against Valorant. The biggest issue here is while they did change some stuff up, it's still a direct copy. Making a Viper smoke into sand doesn't exactly save you, or a Sova dart into a bird doesn't exactly save you. Now, it's not completely as strong when it comes to copyright, but still, we can see a lot of things. The skins, though, were pretty unique, and clearly because what the fuck? They still ended up copying Valorant somehow with certain skins in obscure ways. Again, shout out to You're Not Justin. You can see Dark Tide is just a copy of one of the worst battle passes in Valorant depths. So I don't exactly know what their approach was, but there are some complete unique aspects that did not exist before they took down the game and republished it as Hyperfront. It's still a very weird story overall, and we can still see a lot of carryover and still majority just a straight up copy. They completely, like, they tried but didn't try, if that makes sense. Like, clearly a lot of effort went into copying, which is what makes it such an odd idea, right? There's still a lot of effects, a lot of textures, a lot of like money gets poured into this. However, the thing is, copyright laws in China are a little bit wishy-washy, but it's also kind of confusing because Riot is owned by Tencent, which is a Chinese, literally conglomerate. So partial to this is you might think they can get away with it, but that's not exactly what went on. Also, Hyperfront had features Valorant didn't have.
Hyperfront has replays and Valorant doesn't. At the end of the game, there is post-match replays of all of the best plays from the entire game, not just one, showcasing any best play from the match. And then, after the game is over, you can go through and literally look at a replay of the entire game. This is very bare bones, and again, I am not trying to give them too much props for this, but the fact that this game, this mobile game, has a replay mode and Valorant doesn't is sort of insane.
Kind of crazy, and goes to show that Valorant should definitely have a replay system by now, even if it's completely bare bones. Now, the thing is, Riot, if they want to do something, they usually do it right, so I do wonder if they're over polishing, but they also said they're not working on it. But it's a joke. That's a joke. But we're not here to roast Riot. Okay, let's move on. What truly happened is Riot came out swinging. Now, it's important to note that Riot does not like their games copied at all. Now, no developer does, if you want to put it that way. However, Riot already has a history of chasing down these clones. Enter Mobile Legends Bang Bang, a League of Legends copy through and through that was released in 2016 to massive success. We're talking about it's generated over $1 billion. It is a cash cow, and Riot wasn't happy about it. So in 2017, they filed a lawsuit and did end up winning, but only for a sum of $2.9 million, which is chump change to these $2 billion companies. So net loss for Riot because Mobile Legends Bang Bang is still active till today. 1 year ago, they chased them down and started a second lawsuit. They want Mobile Legends out of here, and this is because huge shout out to Nikolai. You can see here that they are a thorn in Riot's side, copying them 1-to-1.
Riot makes an auto chess game, Mobile Legends makes one as well. Riot decides to change the game's logo after their 10-year anniversary, and Mobile Legends changes their logo as well. They even have their own bootleg champion spotlight.
So if Riot couldn't get this company off their back, what says they can get NetEase off their back? Also a huge company within China. Hyperfront was standing to be in the way of Valorant, especially because we know that mobile Valorant is on the horizon. Here's what happened. Riot went ahead and sued NetEase and completely said, we don't think that changing the color of a character ability or slightly modifying the visual appearance changes the fact that it's copyright infringement. It's like that old saying, you can put lipstick on a pig, but it's still a pig. And they issued that lawsuit with the idea of looking towards the courts to force NetEase to shut down Hyperfront and also retrieve substantial damages. However, Riot didn't specify an exact amount or figure that they wanted from the lawsuit. Thing is, while all this was going on, it was a very clear fact that Hyperfront was rising in popularity, especially within Southeast Asia. A lot of people there don't have computers, even the most basic computers, but most people still do have a phone. So they can pull out their phone, they can download Hyperfront, and then get a taste of something like Valorant, which is why Riot makes their mobile games now, even if it takes a long time to develop. So we see Hyperfront starting to climb, and then Riot comes swinging through with that lawsuit. And what this lawsuit ended up doing is scaring NetEase. They did not have to go to court. In the end, NetEase announced the closure of their own servers through a Twitter post on April 3rd, where they said that the esports, they call it the esports title Hyperfront, on April 10th, 2023 at 8 a.m. will be closed. The servers will shut down for good. And they also didn't explain why they're shutting down the servers. They just said, yeah, we're shutting down the servers, lol, bye. And that obviously indicates that it is most likely because of the lawsuit that Riot issued. Riot actually issued the lawsuits shortly after they announced the fact that they're even making a mobile game. So they open up the mobile scene, right? They're doing their market research. They already are aware of this game, realize its popularity, realize they're infringed on their copyrights. So they use the opportunity to file a lawsuit. NetEase gets scared, and now the landscape is free for Riot to come on through with Valorant Mobile. And that was the end of Project M, turned to Hyperfront, turned to dead game.